let's have a look at some notation to do with sets, and there's lots going on here that we need to look at. So let's have a look at this. So D is the set of. So here's D, and it's a set, and X stands for what numbers are in the set, and we can see here X, we've got an R, and we've got lots of different symbols in here. So let's just deal with this first of all. Now this shape here that looks a bit like an E, that means element of. So X is an element of real numbers. So X is all the real numbers, but we've also defined X as being between -2 and 3. So we're just going to write down a few numbers that X could be. So X could be -2. X could be -1. But the real numbers, that means that it could also be fractions, such as 1/3. Okay, it could also be √2. So these are all the numbers that X could be. Now actually, even though we're only between -2 and 3, there's actually an infinite number of numbers that X could be. One number that X cannot be is 3, because it's less than 3. Let's make up another one. Let's call set C, with a little squiggly line here, and we'll say that this time X is between -2. Now we're going to use exactly the same thing, between -2, including -2, and less than 3. But this time we're going to change this last condition, and we're going to say X is an element of Z. Now if you remember that Z are the integers, so this time we've got a finite, so it's not an infinite, finite number of terms. So for example, X could be -2, X could be -1, X could be 0, 1 and 2. There's nothing else it can be. It's less than 3, it's not any of the fractions or irrational numbers. So there we have all of that. We introduce a new term, which is N. So if you see N in front of a set like that, so N means how many. How many are there in set C? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 elements in set C. Now we can't do that for the one above, because the one above is far too difficult to say how many numbers there are, because as I said, there's an infinite number. So we've got these two things. We've got element and we've got number in the set.